us, when did you start boxing?
So I started boxing when I first moved down to Fife when I was 9 years old.
What prompted that? Were you not more tempted to do football, or did you have a family history of boxing?
No family history whatsoever. Inspiration came from watching the Rocky films when I was younger. However, I was around 7 when I first watched them, and that was up in Orkney where there was no boxing clubs. So as soon as I came down to Fife, I was itching to join a boxing club, and done so as soon as I moved.
What was the first club that you attended?
I was Kelty Amateur Boxing Club.
And why did you choose Kelty?
It was the kind of persistent and constant reviews that they had in the Dunfermline press. Read lots of good reviews about them in there. So on that note, decided to join the Kelty Club.
How did you find it when you first started? Was it what you expected having watched the Rocky films, or was it completely different in reality?
It was very much what I expected from watching the Rocky films. It was a old spit and sawdust type gym, brilliant kind of community atmosphere, and yeah, I really enjoyed it in Kelty.
How old were you when you competed in your first competitive fight?
12 years old.
12, and how did that go?
It lasted 1 minute. I got the first full round in, and unfortunately my opponent went back to his corner in tears, and the referee had to stop the fight then.
So that was the start of quite an illustrious career. What was the pinnacle of your boxing career?
I've had several highlights, I think, some of which include competing in the World Championships out in Kazakhstan when I was 15 years old. That was a major event, and one I was kind of proud to take part in. Also getting the opportunity to box at the Alhambra and along the road there, in my kind of home ground in the British Championships was also a big highlight for me.
What weight did you compete at?
So I finished up 69 kilos at welterweight, but obviously from a youngster I'd kind of worked my way up through all the different weight.
Were you ever tempted to turn professional?
It was something I considered at one point in time, but I did decide against that in the end.
How have you found the transition from being a competitive boxer to becoming a coach?
In the initial month or so, I found it quite challenging. Obviously, it's an entirely new set of skills that you've got to exercise in the coaching role compared to the competitive role. But with the kind of support of all the other coaches at the club, I was able to develop all the kind of skills in a fairly effective manner, and I'm quite enjoying that now, being a coach at the club.
Excellent. Thank you.
And welcome to this edition of Meet the Coach from Weighin. Today, I had the pleasure of speaking to my colleague and fellow coach at Dunfermline Boxing Club, Fraser Gorn. We conducted this interview after an outdoor training session, so that's the reason why we're sounding breathless. So I do hope you enjoy it, and without further ado,